2, and we are live.
Welcome everybody to the UFC White House card bingo. As you can see, we got a lot of stuff in front of you here. We're gonna kind of go through them one by one, but of course you're able to see them all right here. But yeah, some of us all came up of with some of them. Some of us put together like ideas to create other ones. But yeah, I wanted to get this out before bedtime did because we're not stealing his ideas. Trust me, we're definitely not doing that. But yeah, first one is the Ilya Armin confrontation. Armin is supposed to be the backup fighter, so and he just gets into an altercation with everybody. I think it makes sense that at some point him and Ilya come face to face, and somebody has to hold Armin back or some shit from doing some stupid shit and having to fight Dan Hooker in a rematch rather than getting the title fight or some shit. But yeah, I feel like this is pretty likely. Armin seems to just be everywhere these days, and the rumors of him being the backup fighter, that just makes sense. What do you guys think?
Yeah, I think it's most likely going to happen. I think it's also like I think because Armin's a hothead, bro. Like any moment Armin's gonna have, he's just gonna he's gonna chimp out, bro. Like bro's like a massive crash out. Like I just saw like a clip on RAF where like he headbutted the dude because the dude was like tapping him after like some crazy shit happened during the wrestling match. I think it'll most definitely happen. I think that might even be like one of our last ones marked from the card. So we'll have to see how it goes. I think for sure this will occur.
Yeah, I think given Armin's antics in the past, the headbutt with Dan Hooker, slapping Bobby Green during fight week, or things of that nature and variety, I feel like security will be heightened whenever he's on the grounds near Ilya. So I can see a verbal confrontation occurring. But in terms of a physical altercation, like a shove or anything along those lines, I imagine that security will be heightened anywhere around Armin. Also, he got into a scuffle with a fan, so like given his history, like there's been multiple instances where he's been aggressive, and I imagine the UFC is going to try to do everything in their power to avoid a bad look, especially at the nation's capital in the White House. So yeah, definitely a verbal confrontation can occur, but security will definitely be heightened when those two are in the vicinity.
Moving on to our first one in the I column. Trump joins commentary for a fight. I think this makes sense. We've had him do this before. I want to say for the Miami card. How could you not have Trump on commentary at the White House event, kid? I think it's obviously makes sense. They've done it with people outside of Trump. They've had like O'Malley like jump in and do it. They've had Moreno do it before. I think it just makes sense. It's the White House card. They've had Trump do it before. They're going to do it on the White House card.
Yeah, I think I came up with this one because like Trump actually did commentary before for one of the fights. It's not a fight in particular. I think it was the holy. It was like a. I think he did it for what's that one shit called? Triller is that one Walmart TikTok thing that was trying to do boxing at one point? Yeah, Triller. Triller had like a whole thing for the Holyfield card, and they had like Trump commentary, and it was him, Don Jr. and Jorge Masvidal and all the people that glaze him the most. And me personally, I do think that he's definitely gonna try. I think he'll at least speak for like one or two fights, and then he'll fuck off. But I think he'll definitely do some commentary because he has done it before at some other places.
Yeah, I think the fight in particular, I expect him to do this commentary is going to be Josh Hawkin and Derek Lewis, and the reason being is because he made it a public statement that Derek Lewis is his favorite fighter, and he was like the latest addition added to this card, if I'm not mistaken. So as soon as Curtis Blades lost to Josh Hawkins, they had that fight like on ice announced immediately, like it's happening. So I expect Donald Trump to commentate for his alleged favorite fighter being Derek the Black Beast Lewis. knockout king in the UFC. That's a good fight to want to commentate. That should be an action-packed fight from start to finish, regardless of how long it lasts. But yeah, I think that's the fight he does the commentary and to be specific. So I'm calling my shot on that one. But makes sense. That's a fun fight. I'd commentate that fight if I could.
Moving on to our first one in the end column. One of the fights ends in under 2 minutes. I think this is one of the easiest ones on here. I honestly think almost every fight on this card will be a finish, and I think a lot of them are primed to have super early first round finishes. I almost made this one of the fights ends under 1 minute, but I feel like, a lot of these fighters are still good enough to make it past that 1 minute mark. And, there's still a bit of a feeling out process at this high of a level with all the nerves outside the White House, all that shit. I think 2 minutes, though. I mean, I'm looking at Hockett versus Lewis. I'm looking at Steve Garcia versus Diego Lopez, Michael Chandler versus Mauricio Rufy, Ilia Topuria versus Justin Gaethje. All of these fights can really end this fast, and I think at least one of them will. I'm not sure which one, but if I had to put my money on it, I would say Steve Garcia, Diego Lopez, or Hockett Lewis are the most likely. But honestly, you can make a point for honestly any of the fights on the card ending this fast outside of probably Bo Nickel, Kyle Dawkins. I think that one probably goes a little bit longer. But I mean, Alex Pereira, Ilia Topuria, Sean O'Malley, these guys are super fast finishers, especially like O'Malley. When he's on, it's usually in this 2 minute mark. Pereira has gotten people out of here like that, like Ankalaev. Ilia is known for the fast finish. All these guys, I think this is very likely on this card and such a high stake. The nerves, I feel like, play a factor too. Everybody's up there tense and just swinging in the pocket. And the matchups make me feel that way too. But yeah.
Yeah, I think it could happen. There's some fights that could end in it. Honestly, most of the fights that I see are definitely gonna have knockouts in it. Like, I don't want to give too much spoilers into it to our prediction video that's coming up, but I do think the O'Malley fight is gonna end in a KO. I do think the Pereira fight could end in a finish. I think either one could knock out either or. I think Ilia is gonna definitely knock out Gaethje, and the only fight that I could see not ending in a finish is Bo Nickel versus what's his name, Kyle Dawkins. That's the only one. But yeah, I do agree with Alex. I do think that one might get knocked out of our list.
Yeah, I like it. Just like Alex and Mike said, there's a lot of elite finishers on this card. Ilia Topuria, Alex Pereira, Sean O'Malley, knockout king Derek Lewis. And if there's a path that he would win, it would be inside 2 minutes. Honestly, all things considered, that is legitimately his best path to victory. So, yeah, just a lot of finishers really, and firefights like Diego Lopez and Steve Garcia. Yeah, I like that one a lot. So, definitely could see that happening for sure.
Moving on to our first G in the bingo. Israeli flag somewhere in audience. Now I put this one in here. Let me tell you what I'm cooking, right? So inside the White House, actual event, there is not going to be a ton of people. However, there will be a much larger watching party on further down the lawn or something like that at the Ellipse, where there's going to be pretty much the public. And public like to bring their signs, and all that. When you go into an arena, they can kind of, pick and choose what signs get through. But this is the public. Think Ryan Garcia versus Rolly Romero. You're going to have the public around, kind of walking near the event. And I just got a feeling somebody's going to bring an Israeli flag or make a cardboard cutout of an Israeli flag. And we're just going to see it at some point during fight week. I don't know why, but I just have a feeling there will be a flag that ain't American flying somewhere, and that'll be it. I could just see the memes. So I do think that's likely. And to kind of go along with this is kind of just a side prediction. I think somewhere in the audience, there'll just be a mob of Ashkenazi Jews. There'll just be a ton of them in one spot. There'll be 30 of them. But yeah, I do think there's going to be some Israeli and Jewish support during this card.
I with this one, Jesus. I have no thoughts on this one. I don't know. I don't know about it. It's just I don't know why Alex would ever think that there would be any Israeli flags or Jews here. I, you know, I'm just here so I won't get fined. So that's just gonna be my answer. I have no further thoughts on. I have no further thoughts on the whole.
Look at that, man. He just declined an answer.
It's so specific. It's so sharp of a prediction. It's so specifically accurate. I want to rule it out. I think when a man calls a shot, he has something conviction. He has something to believe in it, and that's what Alex sees. So, and I don't rule it out because, a large duration of politicians in Congress happen to be of Jewish descent. So I wouldn't be surprised if it was a glance to the camera, pan this direction or that direction, whatever the case may be. So he sees something, and why not? I wouldn't rule it out. So yeah, pretty much the call there. I expect like a bunch of flags to be showcased. So why wouldn't theirs be showcased? So yeah, I don't mind it. It's so specific. I could see it happening. I could see it.
And historically, with the context of the world right now, it makes sense.
Yeah, I can see just a visual of a pan to the camera. I can see it. Optics are a bit important on big events like this. So
and I have a counterpoint to it later. I don't think the Israeli flag will be the only one we see. I'll get to that later. But no, Mike, not that flag. Not that flag, Mike. Not that one.
No. I know exactly where you're going though, but that's not what you thought I thought.
Oh. I'll get to it. But this next one, it's another one I created. Every winning fighter glazes Trump in the White House. I think, you look at it and you're like, oh, it's a long shot. That's 7 people that have to do it. I think it's a lot more likely. I think every time the winning fighter will say something along the lines of, thank you, President Trump. Thank you for having me at the White House. It's so great to be here. They will say that every time. And they already pretty much say that to be in like fucking Cleveland. Like, oh, it's great to be here, Cleveland. It's never great to be in Cleveland, and they say that shit, they're definitely going to glaze the fuck out of Trump in the White House. Oh, this is a dream come true to me. Every fighter is going to be on that. I think that's a shoe.
Yeah, I think it's going to be like a 1FC-esque, if you watched 1FC, they automatically already got their bonuses ready. Like, the announcer, the Asian Joe Rogan over there is like, what do you got to say for Chatri? He just gave you a 25K bonus. Like, it literally feels like a humiliation ritual when they do it. Like, it's kind of like an alley-oop. I do think that is going to happen. I agree with this one from Alex. I think it's going to be like you just got a knockout here in front of the president. What do you feel about that? Like, I think it's going to be like I said, a 1FC-esque post fight interview. They're gonna be like, look at you just knocked somebody the fuck out right in front of the president. What do you feel about that? Like, I feel like it's gonna be something like that. Or during fight week they're gonna go, the post fight press conference that they do, like, oh, you're here in the White House, how does that feel, and stuff like that. I do agree with that one.
Yeah, I think this is about as much as a lock on the card as any. I think it's customary to show respect to the venue where you fight at. And regardless of your stance on whether you support or dislike Donald Trump, he's given you guys an opportunity to fight in front of the White House and do an historic event that has never been done in all of sport, let alone combat sports. So I expect them to show respect to him, letting them fight on the premises and breaking history. So yeah, I think this is about as much as a lock as any. I expect even someone who can't speak English and Alex Pereira, if he is to be victorious, to be thankful to President Trump for giving him the opportunity to fight on the White House. So yeah, I expect that this is like, if I could place a bet on this, I'd put a lot on it. This is what I consider the lock of the card.
And I feel like a lot of UFC fighters are more conservative, like right-leaning, supporting of Trump's values than like a basketball player or a football player or something like that.
And like, regardless of your stance on him, like, this is history. Like, what other, like, there's never been a baseball game in front of the White House. Never been a football game in front of the White House. Never been a basketball game in front of the White House. Never been a soccer game in front of the White House. No hockey game in front of the White House. This is history. A boxing match in front of the White House. This is like, we've never seen this in any sport ever. enjoy the moment, bask in it, and be thankful for it.
Yeah. Moving on to our next one, we're going to go in a snake order. Our second we got Aiden Ross at live event. There was a rumor that Mike told me that he doesn't want to be there, especially if certain foreign leaders of certain Middle Eastern countries are there, because he doesn't support the way he makes him and his people look, and I respect that. But Aiden Ross has gotten interviews with Trump before. It wouldn't be the first time he's been at the White House. He's been a lot of UFC events. And, I feel like this kind of goes with my other one with the Israeli flag, because Aiden Ross, he's a joker. He makes a lot of jokes. And I feel like a lot of his jokes are pointed at himself. And a lot of his fans kind of, for lack of a better term, kind of bully him for being a Jew. And I feel like the Star of David or the Israeli flag can be associated with Aiden Ross in that way. Like somebody like who's a fan of his could like pull it up as a joke, or just something involving him. But I think, with him being at the White House but before and being at UFC events before, it makes sense that he could be there. It kind of ties into other ones too, because of like him and his fan base's antics. So yeah.
Yeah. I heard about like Alex said, I have heard rumors that he might not go due to, I don't know, millionaire shit, I actually don't know. Why he wouldn't want to go to the White House card, but I think he will. It is just a rumor after all. I think he will be there, because like Alex said, he's been talking about going, glazing Dana, and he's been throbbing Dana's nuts to get him White House tickets. So there's gotta be he's gotta be. There's no way he's not doing all this glazing shit for nothing. So I think he will be at the White House card.
I wouldn't rule it out. He's a popular streamer. Dana's made it very clear that he wants like influencers and powerful people to be, integrated in the UFC. Aiden's been to multiple fights. He's been on multiple fights. He's had multiple fighters on his stream before. I could see it happening. On the contrary, though, from my understanding, like this is a card that is very exclusive and will not be like given the same for obvious reasons access to the public like usual cards have in the past. This is on the White House, and we can't afford for any shenanigans to occur on this situation that would be too problematic. So the only reason why I could not see it happening is just because streamers want to live stream an event, and everyone's going to watch on Paramount, and it's in the White House. So like they don't need any just like funny shit going on around the White House. So I could see it happening because he did a whole thing with Trump, and he likes the UFC and stuff. But at the same time, I could see it not happening because, they don't need any unnecessary like stuff happening. And why would they stream at an event that's going to be on Paramount? Like you can just watch it there. So I could see it's 50-50. It could happen. It could not happen. So,
Moving on to our next one. Another one that kind of ties into this whole Israeli flag thing. You know what I mean? Leader of foreign country and audience, president or prime minister in the audience. There's been a heavy rumor that Netanyahu's going to be there. He's a great friend of the country. There's been a lot of rumors that he's going to be there, especially. I don't know if that's just internet being internet, but, close relationship with Trump that sometimes wanes. I don't think any direct kind of enemy of the United States will be there. Like, I don't think like a Putin or like a Xi Jinping would do it or anything like that. But I could see like a Netanyahu or a Macron, like the leader of France, or somebody like that showing up. A leader of I could see Javier Milei, the prime minister or president of Argentina, being there. Certain guys like that, at this high level of this is about as high profile as a UFC card's ever been. Usually you have your front row and it's filled with celebrities, but this is going to be like pretty much the people that rule the world are going to be watching here on some real Hunger Games shit. So don't be surprised at all if you see a leader of a foreign country be there. First person that I think makes most sense is obviously Netanyahu, but I think that's just the memes and, the internet doing its thing. But I do think somebody who's a leader will be there.
Yeah, it's a big card, you know. Anybody can show up at any moment, you know. Like Alex said, this is like on some Hunger Games shit. It's in a special place in the world, you know what I mean? The White House lawn. There's some specific people from like different countries that are fighting on the card, like Diego Lopez, uh, Alex Pereira, and what's his face, Cyril Gahn. Like I think there definitely will be some people that are from those specific countries uh, to be there. I think never say never. You know what I mean? Like we've seen like more shocking shit happen before. Uh, this one wouldn't be really the most shocking one because this one's kind of like a little like just brings everybody together.
Yeah, just like Mike and Alex alluded to, I would imagine like the world leaders of specifically the fighters that are on the card, like Mike said, Diego Lopez representing Mexico. I think the female president of Mexico could be there. I don't know her name off the top of my head, but I could see her being there. Um, I could see the president of Brazil being there for Alex Pereira. We could see Macron being there for Gan. We could see Trudeau being there for Sahabi. Um, yeah, I feel like those guys could be there, as well as Trump's, inner circle, Pam Bondi, Pete Hegseth, um, Peter Thiel's in Argentina, so I could see like that being for Millet, like Alex said. So yeah, I feel like those people in particular come to mind in terms of the higher status people that I would imagine being there. So just makes sense. It's like the most, like Alex said, exclusive UFC card like in history. So makes sense.
Moving on slightly from global politics, another Hockett altercation with Pereira, Ilya, or Lewis. I think this is a shoo-in as well. I heard they're going to have the press conference in like the Lincoln Memorial Steps or something like that, which is also a pretty cool fucking setting that they have. Like they're going to do the press conference in another cool place within Washington D.C. and like kind of the White House area, like that whole, I don't even know what you call it, the presidential palace area. But yeah, I think Hockett's going to be in rare form. We're going to get to Hockett a little bit more in a minute, but I think he'll definitely be at Pereira, Ilya, Lewis again. Uh, I think honestly, like what we saw the first time is only a fraction of what Hockett will show this time. I think he's going to go absolutely crazy. I think Ilya is going to want to fight him, or there's going to be some bump in, run in with Pereira in the halls and like an embedded video, or Lewis is going to like try to confront him on the stage, or he's going to get like Lewis's face on the stage and Lewis is going to like get up and try to do something. I think there's definitely Hockett's going to be going crazy all fight week, no doubt.
Yeah, I think there will definitely be an altercation. I mean, Josh Hockett's Josh Hockett. Uh, Whether you like the man or not, he does bring controversy. Do I personally like him personality wise? No, I kind of hope somebody does knock him the fuck out. But I think he does bring entertainment involved. And there is gonna be some people that don't like his are not a cup of tea with his things, and Ilya's been a one of them that said like, oh, I didn't like what he said about Pereira's mom or something like that. I think it was like some language barrier shit. He probably thought he was actually saying that he's gonna chama on his mama. like, I think there will be an altercation, knowing that Hockett's not very liked. He's had fights with Yuri randomly, had fights with Ilya. Um, it looked like Pereira got up after the press, like after the whole thing was going on. It looked like it was going to be like a 2v1 situation, but I doubt it. I think it was just that Pereira was probably going to wait till Hockett was going to swing or something like that, but I don't know. I don't think it was that big of a deal, but I do think that there will be another Hockett altercation with somebody just because it is Josh Hockett at the end of the day.
Yeah, I'm like the president of the Josh Hockett fan club. I'm a big advocate of the guy. He's my favorite heavyweight in the UFC. Picked him in every fight. I'm gonna pick him in every fight. I love this guy. He is exactly what the sport needs right now. Now his trash talk is not on the level of like a Prime Connor or the likes of those guys. It's not nearly as witty or as clever or as funny. He's more cringe more than anything, and I know why everybody wants him to lose. It's so like you just look at him like you want him to lose. But I love him for taking the bullet and being that guy to hate. You love to hate him. So, yeah, I'm gonna pick him like going forward until proven otherwise. I'm the president of the fan club. He gets into it with everybody. You know, he'll get into it with Ilya. He'll get into it with Yuri, as Mike said. He'll get into it with Pereira. You got to give him credit. Like, I ain't never seen nobody be as confident. Like, whether he wins or loses or whatever, gotta give him respect. Like, who talks to Alex Pereira like this? He's like literally a feet away from him at the press conference, and he goes like he flips him off, and he goes like, "I'll chop on your mama." Like, bro, who does that to Alex Pereira? Jamal Hill will talk shit, but he can't back it up. No offense. Yuri, like, he'll be like, "Let's not fight with spirits." But like, you know, we know how that ends. Magomed want to talk a bunch of shit for winning a decision, but like he never really had. He like when they went to the Performance Institute, there was a different type of energy. Josh Hockett, you gonna get the same energy one way, unless he just has a schizophrenic moment where he just goes back to his like nervous form, like he's got multiple character syndrome, as we all know. But yeah, I think this could definitely happen, whether it's verbally, whether it's another physical like a push or they're throwing water bottles at each other or something. Josh Hockett, he just knows how to. He's a master of getting under your skin. He cringes his way under your skin to the point where you want to fucking hit him. So I know he's doing his job right. This is the American champion I want. This is the guy. This is America's champ, the best American big man in sports.
That was fucking gay.
Moving on to our next one, our second eye of the bingo. The winner of Roofy Chandler calls out McGregor. I think this is another one that just makes sense. McGregor's finally back into the he's actually fighting, it seems like, finally after his hiatus. You know, Roofy, he modeled his whole style after McGregor. I think he's going to call him out if he wins. That's just my feeling. Win or lose, what happens in the Holloway fight. And you know Chandler. You got to fight somebody, so fight me. You fucking Chandler. You know he's going to do it if he wins. He'd probably do it if he loses. I'm going to be honest. Chandler's like, I don't even know. Like, he's 100% on the spectrum. Autistic as hell. Roofy might be as well, but Chandler's got like that loud autism, like where he just starts screaming in a Walmart. like, I'm gonna be honest, like you know he's gonna do it. This is the most lock of all time if Chandler wins. Roofy, maybe he calls out somebody else, but I think he'd call out McGregor too. But yeah, you know Chandler's gonna if he wins.
Yeah, I do think the winner will definitely call out Connor. It's not really like a. I mean, we don't know what will happen, but we wouldn't be surprised. Like like Rufy's like literally just a Chat GPT and template of Conor McGregor in Brazilian form, and Chandler is just a man that's been getting cucked for years for that Conor McGregor fight. Like, I wouldn't be surprised if he does call out Connor, win or lose. Even if he does lose, like there has been moments where he's like, yeah, you know, I give him my all, but Conor McGregor, like shit like that, he'll literally do it, or like there's some. It's like a weird humiliation fetish at this point with Chandler, where he brings up Conor McGregor, and at this point, Conor just brushes him off like he's old news, like nobody gives a fuck about him. Like at this point, that's kind of what made Chandler famous, is because he was like infamously calling out Conor, and now he's just the guy that calls out Conor after getting his ass whooped every single fight. Like it's getting to a point now. Like I don't know, it's getting sick. But yes, I do think it's a 50-50 chance that we do get this on our bingo stamped.
Yeah, I could definitely see this happening, regardless of who the winner may be. Mauricio Rufy, a lot of his strikes, a lot of his style is very similar to that of a Conor McGregor. He tries to emulate him as much as possible. Michael Chandler, he was left on the doorstep for multiple years now in that fight. So we obviously know that if he wins, he probably would call him out, despite still being left for years to like not have that fight. He is on the older side, but I'll always be a fan of Michael Chandler. I'll always be on his side because I know what he's been through. He's fought a lot of the elite guys in the UFC and in Bellator. He literally fought Dan Hooker, Tony Ferguson, Dustin Poirier, Justin Gaethje. The list goes on and on. He has the tools to win these fights, but he doesn't put it together because he's more entertainer than fighter in that regard. Like, he doesn't want to win the fight where he could take the path to least resistance. But like I said, he literally fought like the toughest possible competition you could ask for in the UFC. That being said, both these guys would want the Conor fight. It's a money-making fight. It's an opportunity for life-changing money. And now the Conor's back in the UFC. I mean, who wouldn't want that fight? And ranking-wise, it makes a lot of sense. It really does. So, and with Chandler, that fight was scheduled with Rufy. It'd be a striking fight. He won't grapple Conor, so there's like the fun aspect of that potential matchup. But nonetheless, yeah, definitely one of these guys I definitely see calling out Conor McGregor for sure.
Moving on to another Josh Hockett one. We made this one a couple weeks ago. Ice has been in the news less, I feel like, but I feel like that's still that's Hockett joke material right there. Like it makes sense that he'd say something like that on the White House. With Trump there, I think he's going to have a lot of like White House and like president and Trump themed jokes, and goes at like when he goes at certain people on the stage. Like I could see him just going off on Diego Lopez for no reason whatsoever. I'm gonna be honest. Diego Lopez is also facing his training partner, a guy that goes to his gym with him, Steve Garcia. Both go to Jackson Wink, so maybe there's something there. But I think he'll go at Derek Lewis for some stuff. He went at it a little bit in the other press conference, but pretty much all of his at Derek Lewis are just going to be "you're fat and black." Let's be honest. That's what he's going to be saying to Derek Lewis. But I think there's going to be like ICE themed or Israeli themed or Middle Eastern themed something like in Hockett's material for that day for sure. He's going to theme it 100%.
Yeah, I do think there is something like anything politically themed for this card. Hockett's gonna make it, and like one of his like corny one-liners, like I don't know, like it's gonna be something hilarious though. Like I will admit the man is funny at times, but this one I think he'll definitely add it in like some obvious, like, oh, we kind of knew it was gonna go there. Like I think Hockett will for sure add a one-liner about ICE for sure. Even though ICE hasn't really been in the news, I do still think it will. I still do think that he'll make a nice joke, being like, "My boy Steve Garcia is gonna send him packing into an ICE truck lacking," or some shit like that. He'll do some corny shit like that. Like I can so see Hockett doing some shit like that.
Yeah, I think Josh Hockett, his arsenal that day could be consisted of just going after everybody on the dais, going everybody on the panel. He could go after Gone for being French. He could just go at that. He could go after. He could copy Colby Covington with Alex Pereira. Brazil's a dump, you bunch of filthy animals. Like he could go there. Canada at Eamon Zahabi. He's like, you fighting O'Malley, man. You guys can't even fight, or something. Like he'll just say something like that about Canadians. What's another one? He'll go after Derek Lewis for obvious reasons, and he'll go after the guy his teammates fighting, Diego Lopez. So that one I think could definitely happen, and not to mention one of his alter egos is Vato. So he's gonna channel his inner Vato, and he's gonna be like, man, I'm the real one. I just need to be looking for Holmes, or like he's gonna say some shit like that, and so yeah, I definitely see Josh Hockett just going after everybody for real. Honestly, no one's safe with America's baddest man. No one's safe with Josh Hockett.
Yeah, that Chicano Vato voice is 100% making a comeback.
100%.
That's got to be a part of this.
That's the down Vato. That's Vato. And man, I'll tell y'all later why I like that. That's just funny. I'll tell you. That's just funny, bro. That's funny.
Yeah, he's definitely gonna crack that one again. But this next one kind of goes with the Israeli flag one, and like I was gonna say, there's a counterpoint to it. This is the one: security threat at the White House. So I know a lot of people when they're hearing me say this, and people have like said like, oh, they're like some foreign country's gonna try something. That ain't gonna happen. There's a reason no foreign country's ever been able to do that. It's not going to be, I don't think, any terrorists or anything like that either. But this is the thing. It's the public. This isn't inside of arena where people have to pay tickets to. This is more or less in public. I understand it's on White House grounds, but the ellipse is off White House grounds, if I'm correct. And that kind of, is where I'm going to say these flags start showing up. In the arena, I could see the Israeli flag. But outside the arena, this is my prediction. I think there will be a lot of Palestinian flags. I think there will be protests and stuff of that nature outside the event. I mean, people are already protesting, saying it's like the Hunger Games and all that. And in taxpayer money, this, how what they're complaining about. But of course, while they're having this White House event, there is greater conflicts in other parts of the world, such as the Israel and Palestine conflict. And obviously that's been a very polarizing one with a lot of protests and riots and such of that nature. And I think, there is going to be protests outside of the White House. There's going to be a lot of people going crazy outside of the White House, not just inside it. And I think, the security team are definitely going to be working hard. I'm sure there's going to be somebody that does something stupid. That just seems to be the nature of super publicized events like this, where it's like a big deal and everybody knows about it. Even like smaller stuff has had a lot of stuff like this happen. Like it feels like if Trump goes somewhere, it gets like canceled or protested, and it makes no difference. Like the whole taxpayer money. Like I said, there's a lot of reasons for people to protest, and I think they will for a majority for a lot of reasons. Of course, the conflicts, like I said, certain allegiances with Israel, of course, that's unpopular with a lot of people. And I think there will be a lot of riots, and I think that will kind of be the security threat. But I think there will be, a lot of elites inside and a lot of people that hate the elites outside. It's my prediction.
I don't know if it'll happen per se. I could see it happening just because it is the White House card. At the end of the day, like, anybody could do something about it. I don't know. I hope nothing bad happens. I really don't. I pray that everything goes smoothly as possible and safely. Wouldn't be surprised if this one be knocked on, because there is some sick people in the world. But I don't think anything should happen though, per se.
Yeah, pretty much the same sentiment as Mike and Alex. Similar to Mike, I hope nothing happens in the event to disrupt it or to cause a problem. No shenanigans occurs. But on the contrary, I see what Alex is saying. There won't be a threat within like the confines of the event. It'll be on the outside with protests occurring of like, this is a circus, this is Hunger Games, this is not what the country needs. Like, you should be trying to make peace with the Middle East. Instead, you're doing this and this and that and da. And so I definitely could see that occurring. But yeah, I share similar sentiments of both. I see what Alex is saying as far as protests occurring on the outside of the confines of the event. And I see what Mike's saying in terms of I hope nothing hinders or disrupts or causes the event to go south.
Yeah, obviously, I don't want anything to happen either. And I think like nobody's bombing the event.
Yeah,
right?
I don't think anybody's saying. I wasn't trying to.
Nobody's like gonna bomb this event, right? Nobody's gonna send. No foreign country is gonna try that. But as far as the unpopularness of this card, like obviously we're UFC fans, we're kind of in a bubble. Outside of the UFC bubble, with a lot of people, it's pretty unpopular. and it's popular to another big crowd, like a huge casual audience that will tune into it for the exact reason these other people hate it. And that's just the duality of the world. But I think we're going to see that duality in such a honestly a politically charged UFC card, which has never existed ever. It's always just been about the fights. This time it's going to be about the fights and the White House, the president, and all that. So I definitely see some people doing stupid shit. I'm going to be honest, as unfortunate.
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised about that. I wasn't trying to.
No,
say
no,
that.
I know. I just make sure I clear that up for myself.
Yeah.
But yeah, moving on to the next one, Flatline KO. And I know this might be a little, you might not understand. Obviously, there's going to be KOs, but I'm thinking flatline, unconscious, eyes wide open, locked in the middle of the White House lawn. I think this, similar to the one where I said could end under 2 minutes. I think this is probably going to happen with the certain guys we have on this card. We got some real power punchers: Derek Lewis, Josh Hockett. Josh Hockett's more volume, but he could still do it to Derek Lewis, with Derek Lewis being older. Mauricio Rufy, Michael Chandler, Steve Garcia, Diego Lopez, Alex Pereira, Ilya Topuria. Like, all these guys have, Sean O'Malley, like, have done this before. Gaethje's done this before. Gane has done this before. All of them, honestly. Even fucking Zahabi's done it. Bo Nickal's done it. Dawkins has done it. Not to say they're going to be the ones doing it, but everybody has had a moment like this before. And it seems just like, I know it's only 7 fights, and sometimes we get cards where it's a lot of decisions. I don't think this will be the case. I think we're seeing somebody go to sleep and like wake up like confused 3 minutes later.
Yeah, I do think something could occur like that. Ilya's got we got some heavy hitters. You got Alex Pereira who has literally death touch. Ilya Topuria, who also has death touch. It could happen in either the Derek Lewis and Hockett fight. Hockett randomly catches him in one of those hooks that he likes to land. Because Derek Lewis has been flatlined. He literally just got flatlined not too long ago. But I don't think if anybody's gonna get flatline KO, I do think it will be. It would be Derek Lewis knocking out Hockett if that would to occur. But I don't know. I think out of like certain other fights, I do think like there will be a flatline KO. Either if it's Gaethje getting knocked out, Pereira knocking out Gane, or O'Malley sending Zahabi palms up. So we'll have to see.
Yeah, I think Alex said it best. Every fighter on this card has had a flatline KO in their career at some point. Yeah, these are just like they've been there, done that. They're on for the time being, the world's biggest stage, and the stakes are high. Nerves are going to be high as well. Tensions, they rise, and we'll see who rises above it better. So yeah, I expect some very nice viral knockouts on this card. There should be violence aplenty on this card in the White House. The elites showed up for this, so they're in for a show.
For sure. When the elites are watching, you really make a good card. It don't matter when the UFC fans are watching, but when Trump and a bunch of his henchmen are there, you put on the best.
A lot of big names.
And of course, we have our free space. And I promise not everything is going to be Trump related, obviously, but as the White House, a lot of it is going to revolve around Trump and other politicians doing crazy shit. So that is what a lot of this is, including this next one. Random pro-Trump politician or influencer gets interviewed about card despite knowing nothing. I think this is a lock. I think Joe Rogan's going to be going around interviewing all the randoms and being like, what do you think about the fights? Not just Trump, because I know Trump doesn't know ball. This has been well established, but he at least likes the sport of violence, right? I think JD Vance or somebody's going to be like, yeah, I'm a big fan of Maurice Ruffalo. I think he's going to win tonight. Yeah. And they're going to know fucking nothing. They're going to mispronounce their names. It's going to be some cringe ass shit. We're going to get to some other politicians we think are going to be in the audience later. But I think, they're going to be interviewing politicians, and the politicians aren't going to know a fucking thing. And they're gonna act like they do, and they're gonna mispronounce names and fucking be like, "Oh yeah, he beat that one guy that one time." Like they're gonna know fucking nothing. Trump knows nothing. So like, what do you think these people who are like just going here for the scenery of it are gonna know? It's gonna be rough. But yeah, that's gonna be funny too. It's gonna be this card is gonna be filled with memes.
Yeah, I could see something funny happening. Like, I could see like some random dude like seeing that Trump likes, being like, "Oh yeah, that Black Beast guy, he's very good. It was kind of unfortunate what happened to him and all that." Or if he does knock out Josh Hockett, I could see him being like, "Yeah, I see why Trump likes him so much. You know, he's really good and stuff like that. Could be a champ. Who knows?" Like, I could see some random shit going on. Megan O'Leary or fucking Laura Senko, one of the two. I could see them doing some funny shit like that, like interviewing a random person, like your political commentators that like Trump and stuff like that, or Trump himself, or not even just Trump, like somebody in his administration. The funny one would be Bobby Kennedy, like Bobby Kennedy randomly getting an interview, just trying to enjoy and trying to enjoy the fights and stuff, being like, I'm not gonna do the voice, but it would be a funny interview, like random interview. Imagine somebody just got caught, just died in the cage, and Bobby Kennedy. Yeah, it was a good fight, like some shit like that. That would be hilarious, but I don't know. No disrespect to Bobby Kennedy though. I do I do like his little his things about, you know, making America healthy and stuff like that. There's no shade towards him, but just imagine just imagine somebody gets flatline unconscious and they were like, "Whoa, somebody just fucking died in the cage. Here's Robert Kennedy." Bobby, what do you think about that? Bobby's trying to catch a word and be like, "Yeah, it was a good fight. I hope he's okay." like I hope, like, it would just be a funny reaction, or just get a glimpse of Bobby Kennedy just randomly getting PTSD. Just randomly going, "It happened again." Oh no, it would. I hope if any, I hope that we get a Bobby Kennedy interview after this fight, just getting a glimpse of of him just seeing somebody palms up.
Yeah. I hear what y'all are saying as far as like they're gonna be like the politicians are gonna be asked and like they're not gonna know anything. But this is where I'm gonna give like a little out of bounds prediction. They're gonna look like they know nothing, but like if it's like Trump's son, Trump Jr., like he'll. I think they're gonna be betting on the fights. Like, call me like you're never gonna be able to prove me on this, but like if you just see like them like a week later or something with like a nice car or some shit. Like I think like they're gonna act
have nice cars.
I know they're gonna act like they don't know who these people are, and they're gonna mispronounce the name and everything. I know like it's gonna look perfect like casual, but like I wouldn't be paying attention to their facial reaction. I wouldn't be paying attention to those interviews more than people would expect me to. I'm gonna really pay attention to that shit. I'm gonna see what type of like mentality they are.
That's not an out of bounds take either, because I think there was like one fight that Trump like watched, and he like gave somebody like randomly like $100 or some shit like that. Like, you were right about that. Like I don't know which fight it was. Look up Trump gives somebody money in a UFC event. It's happened before. I forgot who he had money on. Yeah, there was like I forgot which fight it was. It was like some random like fight. He had money on the line and he gave the dude money. I guess he lost the bet. It was like something funny.
Yeah, if they're not betting big, like under the table, which wink wink, they're not, wink wink. Like I think there'll be side bets among the elites. Like, hey, I got this guy, you got this. All right, bet. Like they're I think some under the table shit is gonna go down. I'll never be able to prove it, but I believe that some bets will be placed on this card amongst the elites, whether it's big boy money or whether it's just money like up in front and stuff. They're gonna act like they don't know, but I'll be paying attention to those interviews. I'm gonna be paying attention to like these politicians if they are asked, like, "What did you think of the fight?" I'm gonna pay attention. I'm gonna really think about it.
Moving on to our next one. Of course, we've been talking about this is going to be an elites only event. Of course, there's going to be some UFC fighters there. And you know where UFC fighters and elite meets at Conor McGregor. Finally got back. He's booked to fight. Finally, International Fight Week. Wanted to be on this card. Isn't on this card. That being said, I do think he'll be there. I think he'll be there watching. I would say this is like the most likely fighter to show up. Almost. Like I feel like this is what McGregor wanted. You know, I think this is an event he would go to. Like I don't see him showing up to like fucking USC Oklahoma or like, you know, even like an MSG card most of the time, but something like this, I feel like McGregor would have to be there. Maybe he's too locked into his trainings and he's only staying at the gym and all that, and he's not going to go and discipline McGregor's back. But I feel like, you know, even a pretty disciplined McGregor would still want to go. And I think I think he's going to be there.
Shit. Yeah, I think it will be. You know, Conor don't really go to fights unless if it's like a big fight. And why wouldn't he go to the White House? He has been to the White House before. He has shown support for President Trump. He has shown quite political stances on stuff. Like at one point, I think he ran for president in Ireland, which I'm surprised he lost. Well, I'm not really too surely because I've heard like there's some people at. My cousin went to Ireland not too long ago, and he said like I guess they were bringing up Conor McGregor, and he said like in Ireland, some people in Ireland don't fuck with Conor at all. So I wasn't really surprised about him not doing successful at running, but off topic. I think he will be at the White House card though. Like this one does smell like a McGregor appearance, either causing havoc randomly or like just being like, what's up, President Trump, my man? How you doing?" Like some shit would be fun. Like I do think Conor will stir it up, and I think there will be a Conor McGregor meme going into that attendance.
Yeah, I could see it occurring because there are multiple lightweight bouts on this card. I could see like the winner of Chandler and Rufy calling him out, and I could also see if Ilya Topuria is victorious, or if somehow, some way, Justin Gaethje is able to pull off the upset. I could see Conor McGregor stepping in the cage either way and wanting to call for a title shot if he wins against Max Holloway against either one. I could see him being like, if I win my next fight, I want you next, whether it's Gaethje, whether it's Topuria. And yeah, that's honestly, I don't mind that take. If he is in attendance, I do think that is the plan, regardless of the winner. I think he calls out either one. Everyone will be thinking like he'd want to fight Rufy or Chandler, but he'll be calling out for either Topuria or Gaethje. So if he is in attendance, then I do expect him 100% to call out the winner of the main event. And he'll be like, if I win on International Fight Week, I want you next.
Yeah, moving on to our next one. Trump puts belt on the champions. I think this is likely. Of course, sometimes whenever there's like a, you know, like the BMF belt or like some weird belt, I feel like sometimes they like to have like a celebrity put it on. And of course, it's at the White House. It's an America belt. It hasn't been confirmed to happen yet, so we put it on, but it almost feels like this should be confirmed. Like, I just think this is another shoe-in. There's no reason for us to really think that, but I feel like it is. And I know some of you agree with me. I think Trump's going to put the belt on the champions. He's going to wrap the belt around Ilya or Pereira or Gane or Gaethje or whoever wins the titles in this on this card. But yeah, I don't really have too much to add outside of that. It's pretty self-explanatory. I think Trump just he's like the Mike Tyson or the Rock guy who wraps the belt around the guy. And, great job. You're a phenomenal fighter. Too good looking to be a fighter. I would have loved to see you on that island, but yeah, I don't think you were famous enough to be there. It's okay though. You can come now. You know how Trump goes. You know, He's a great. They're gonna give the mic to Trump after too, and be like, I'm a big fan of this guy. He's gonna like hijack the mic during Ilya's like post-fight win interview. He's my new favorite fighter. You know, Trump's gonna be going. He's gonna be fucking everywhere. Trust me.
Yeah, I agree. I think he will be putting the belt on the winners of this fight. And it is his, like, the reason why I think that is because White House card, and I'll just get that off the way, yeah. But it's also his birthday. They're doing this card because it's his birthday. They at first wanted to make it a super patriotic and being like, oh, it's because it's America's birthday. No, it's Trump's birthday. And they even, like, exposed it, like, on the broadcast when it got announced, like, we will be celebrating the president's birthday on that card. And I'm like, yep, I figured. Because, like, I think it was somebody told me this, who, like, they said, like, the reason why they're doing it, they think that they're doing it is because it's Trump's birthday. I'm like, Trump's birthday's not on this card. Let me see. And I looked up Trump, and I'm like, oh, wow. Not surprised at all, but, like, okay, wow. I do think he will be everywhere, like Alex said. I do think he will be putting the belts on the winner, and I do think he will get his own octagon interview per fighter. Like he did Alex Pereira, what a guy. You know, he's too handsome to be a fighter, you know. Like he's going to start glazing. He's going to start glazing these guys mid interview, like, look at this guy. He's a big fight. He's a big guy. He's a big scary guy. He doesn't need to be fighting too handsome to fight. Like stuff like that. Like he's gonna do some interesting glaze during those interviews. But yes, I do think he will be putting the belt on the champions.
Yeah, this is I feel like a lock. Very strongly confident on this one. It's Trump's birthday. It's the 250th anniversary of the United States of America. This is the 45th and 47th president of the United States of America. These are for two undisputed titles. They had The Rock for the BMF. They had like other people in the past. Like this is a historic event, and my president goes to UFC fights. He just does. Even before he was the president of the United States, he's been going to UFC events. I actually disagree with what Alex said as far as Trump doesn't know ball. I actually think for someone his age, he knows quite enough about UFC.
He does not know ball.
I think he knows a lot of ball. I think he really does. For someone his age, I think he knows a lot.
So you're telling me Donald Trump knows who Adrian Yanez is?
He doesn't really necessarily care about.
So he does not know ball. He does not know ball at all. He doesn't watch the prelims. I want to see him watch the prelims. I want somebody to record him watching the prelims. I want him to watch either.
He's gonna watch the prelims. He's watching the prelims on this card. What you mean? He's gonna watch the prelims.
Where's the prelims?
He's gonna watch
the whole main card.
He's gonna watch Steve. Not just no. There's technically prelims.
Oh my gosh, bro. There's no prelims. No prelims. This is my point that he does not know ball.
Well, this will be his first prelims. And for someone his age,
oh my gosh.
But anyway, it's his birthday. He's going to give the belts. But the main reason I really think I'm confident on this, aside from his birthday, is this past, what was it? Last summer, it was the FIFA Club World Cup. And it was like a bunch of clubs around the world, like Bayern and Chelsea and Paris Saint-Germain. Like the final was PSG and Chelsea and Jersey in East Rutherford, and he was the one that lifted the trophy and gave it to the winning team. So if he's doing like a big sporting event like soccer, he's definitely doing it in the White House in his building. Like that, he is 100, and he likes the UFC 100%. This is a lock. Trump is delivering both belts to the champs of both fights, regardless of who the winners are. 100%.
Moving on to another one that I feel like is pretty likely. A fighter retires. Of course, there's a lot of hunks on this card. A lot of people that are probably looking down the barrel of like a 12-gauge shotgun, to be honest. Like, I don't mean literally, but like, you know, like Gaethje has to fight fucking. She took the kids, Justin. Like he's gonna kill her. He's gonna. Oh my god. He's gonna kill. He's gonna kill Gaethje. He's gonna kill Gaethje. He's gonna kill Gaethje. He's gonna kill him. He's gonna kill him. Oh my god. He's not OJ Simpson. He is not OJ Simpson. He's not OJ Simpson. He is not OJ Simpson. But yeah, I think Derek Lewis, he's one of these guys that's staring down the barrel. Gaethje staring down the barrel. A lot of these guys are looking at the Chandler staring down like 3 barrels. He's a lot of them are close to being done. And, going with our other ones of first round KOs and brutal flatline KOs, I think it makes sense somebody retires after that. Gaethje's talked a lot. Him in particular has talked a lot about retirement. If he loses, he's done. Who knows if that's true or not? But he said he was leaving the UFC, and he didn't leave the UFC. So take anything Gaethje says with a grain of salt, or Ali Abdelaziz if it's his Twitter. But I don't think Pereira will retire. I've seen people talk about that, like, oh, he'll get the belt and retire. It's an interim belt. Calm down. I know it'll be the third belt in 3 weight classes, but he wouldn't retire as an interim champion. I highly doubt it. But I do think, Chandler, Gaethje, maybe Derek Lewis, Bo Nickel if he gets fucked up. I think these could happen. So, yeah, I think there will be a fighter retiring. I'm just not sure who, but those are all good candidates.
Sorry, I just gotta. I'm still trying to process. Alex is not trying to. He's not trying to predict anything harmful. He's just saying that there is some there is going to end up being a fighter retiring in that fight. Like I do see it happening. If Michael Chandler gets flatlined by Rufi, I could definitely see him throwing the gloves down. If Gaethje retires, he's been gargling Trump's nuts the whole fight promotion. Like, I could definitely see him retiring too. I could see, I don't know, Derek Lewis potentially randomly doing it. I don't think he will though, because there's tons of fights that he could have retired on and not retire. I do agree with Alex. I got to keep it short, man. I do think somebody will retire. If you told me like this is gonna sound crazy after what's been happening. Put a gun to my head, who am I choosing? That's going to say, oh, I'm fighting my last fight in front of my favorite president. It could be Michael Chandler, or because I do think Gaethje could stick around. When whatever happens in the McGregor fight, he might end up being like calling out Conor for that fight to say that there's beef there or some shit to settle with. But I do think somebody will retire, and if somebody, like I said, put a gun in my head, who would it be? I could see it being Michael Chandler.
Yeah, I think Mike and Alex said it best. There are like at least 3 fighters that are 35 plus or older, so they're like on the tail end of their careers. The fighters being Derek Lewis and Justin Gaethje and Michael Chandler. If things don't go their way, it'd be a long climb back to the top of the food chain to get there, and it doesn't really look like they got too many miles left to tread on those tires. So, yeah, I could see a fighter retirement occurring. For obvious reasons, if you know, the one that's the most likely to do it. But like another one did like come to mind in hindsight, because I could see him putting on a beating on him too, to an extent that would make him want to retire. But yeah, I don't mind it. At least one fighter on this card could retire. I don't hate that take. Out of 7 fights, is it? It's not a bad shot. 1 out of 7.
But yeah, moving on to our next one. And no, Ilia Topuria is not OJ Simpson. But Trump goons over Nina. This is a shoo-in. Trump goons over like every like semi decent looking reporter he's near, and Trump's getting laid up by Dana White. It's like, yeah, Tell her to take off her shoes, gang. Yeah, those are the president's feet. The president needs those feet. The president wants a foot job at Denny's. Trump's going to be gooning hardcore. Certain fighters goon over her, and which I don't understand, but Trump, that's an old man. He's probably depraved of it. Those are very nice feet. What color do you paint your nails? Coral blue. That's my favorite. Trump is going to be going fucking nuts all week. I know he is, and I think he's going to be low-key sauced at the fights. There's no way that man ain't drinking at the fights. He's going to be in rare form. That's another big prediction of mine. But yeah, he's 100% gooning over Nina all in. You're a very beautiful fighter. How old are you? 38. You look 21 to me. Trump's gonna be gooning.
I do agree with Alex. I do. I actually came up with this idea. At first, I wanted Nina gets an interview with Trump. Because you know how Nina does during fight week. She does interviews with these guys. Now she's doing kick streams with like a whole bunch of people now. I could definitely see, like, I could just so see her in the same. She's gonna be a presidential sandwich. That's what it's gonna be. She's gonna be in the middle sitting. She's gonna be sitting next to Trump and next to Dana right there. I'm sorry. Hold on. I don't know why I should be laughing this hard. You're gonna see Dana and Trump sitting next to Nina. Nina's in the middle, just calmly watching the fights and shit, right? And like she's reading chat and shit like that, seeing what happens and stuff. And Dana's gonna be like, "Oh, by the way, she does foot picks. Nina, show. We gotta see the feet, gang." Like I could just so see Trump being like, "Oh yeah, this phenomenal feet, incredible feet. Never seen any great feet other than that." Like, oh my god. It's just gonna be a whole presidential sandwich going on during that card. Nina's just gonna be she's gonna be ran through as it is. Like we thought she was ran through. This one's gonna be like really downgrading. It's gonna be Dana and Trump just two-manning it.
Cucking Armin.
Well, Armin's already been through that. So unlike Nina's husband.
He gets to feel like what it's like to be Nina's husband.
Oh my gosh. I'm fucking crying about that one, man. But yeah, Trump goons over Nina. I'm calling it the presidential sandwich. I think she's gonna have a seat next to Trump with Dana, because I heard Dana will be sitting next to Trump during the fight. I do see a presidential sandwich being during the White House card.
Yeah, if they're within the vicinity of like sitting within each other, I could see Trump like complimenting Nina and like being fond over her and things like that. But yeah, pretty standard. I think what Mike said could definitely happen too. She could sit next to Dana and Trump and have a field day, so to speak. So yeah, I can see it. If Nina's there, like Trump will like compliment her and stuff. So yeah, I can see it.
Moving on to our next one. Fight announcement during the White House fight week. I think this one makes sense. And I'm saying a higher profile fight just because, a lot of eyes are going to be on the White House card, and it's a good opportunity to prop up your other stuff. So expect Zuffa Boxing's Power Slap and all that shit too. But I also think they'll probably announce like Islam versus Ian Gary or some of the bigger fight nights coming up in the summer on this card as well. So, yeah, I think it speaks for itself. But I think they know how to take advantage of the broadcast usually, unless they've really lost all their mojo, which it's the UFC. Maybe they did, but I think it makes sense.
Yeah.
Yeah, I do think my bad. I do think there will be a fight announcement during there. Armin said he does have a fight announced coming soon. He said that he has a fight booked. So we'll have to see how true that statement is. I do hope we do get like I don't know a Charles versus Armin 2 announced, or you know, something to promote the McGregor card. Well, honestly, that card's already stacked, so you don't really need to add anything else there. Who else? I could see them even adding, talking about the trilogy between Piotr Jan and Marab. We'll have to see how it goes. I do think there will be a fight announced in the White House. Like Alex said, I don't think it'll be like I don't think like it'll be like your typical thing where we normally get like a. It's not gonna be like a Chris Duncan versus Moicano situation. I think it'll be like like I said, Armin Sarukian versus Charles Oliveira 2 announced. They're both big names now and stuff like that. But yeah, I think that's what will be announced. I think there will be a fight announced.
Yeah, I like both predictions from Alex and Mike. The two specific fights they think could be announced would be an Arman Sarukian fight or an Islam Makhachev fight. And funny enough, both of those guys are the two considered arch rivals of Ilya Topuria, who's the main event of this card. So I definitely think that that's in play for sure. Systemic, tactical announcement to use an Ilya Topuria card to talk about his like biggest rivals fights. I could definitely see that being in play. Yeah, I like those two call outs in particular for sure. I like the Islam title fight in August or an Arman Sarukian main event against maybe a Charles rematch. Like Mike said, that's a good call out as well.
Moving on to another Trump related one. Trump Moggs fighter with pole handshake. This is another one I think is certain to happen. It was originally Trump Moggs fighter or commentary team, but you already know he's going to mog the commentary team. He's going to go up to him and just fucking reach him, pull him towards him. And, yeah, come to the president. Yes, come here. You know how he does that. He's going to do it to a fighter after they win, too. He's going to go shake Ilya's hand. Come here. Come to your president. He always does that shit. That's another shoe-in.
Yeah, I do think he is going to hit the signature handshake. The last card he went to, I don't remember which one it was. I think it was the Miami one. He got DC with it. Like DC even talked about it. Like he felt like DC said that he felt humiliated because like if you don't know the handshake Trump does, he'll literally shake your hand like a regular handshake, and then he'll pull you up and take your and grab your arm while you're doing it. It's like a little bro handshake, like a big bro handshaking a little bro. Like that's what the handshake is. I definitely think DC will get caught again. I do think Joe, even though he said that he will never get caught in it, I do have a feeling that the next episode of the JRE, he will talk about getting brutally mogged by Trump with the handshake. But yeah, I do agree with Alex's take on that one.
Yeah, Trump. I think a handshake is a big deal in like a lot of phases of life, like whether it's business and trust in general. Like, and he has, say what you want, but he's got a championship handshake. We could see him doing it to a fighter. We could see him doing it to the commentary team. He definitely also looks like the type, like in his life in sales, like if he had like to get commission on a sale or something, and he was like telling to like one of his friends, like up high, down low, too slow. He looks like the type to say something like that. Or he looks like the type to like mock someone in the past, like stick their hand out and go like this, like with his hair. Like I could definitely see him doing that. But yeah, he'll mock someone in some way. The handshake is legit.
Moving on to a very crafty one. Now, when they said we are Charlie Kirk, they were talking about Bo Nickel and Steve Garcia. That's who the we was in that song. And Bo Nickel, I think, there's a chance, but I am 90% sure Garcia is going to be shouting out Big Kirk, Big Kirkstein, Big Kirkenheimer. You know how it goes. I thought this is a very crafty one by me. If you don't know, Steve Garcia was actually friends with Charlie Kirk before Charlie Kirk passed. I think Steve Garcia will mention Big Kirk. Bo Nickel could also seems like the type to mention Big Kirk at some point during the fight week. 100%. Big Kirk is getting mentioned, and the two most likely candidates are Bo or Steve.
Yeah, I do agree. I think Bo Nickel or Steve Garcia will mention Charlie Kirk. It's not really it's not a very bad one. I don't know if Steve will do it after because I don't know, man. Like it could happen, but I don't know if it could. I wouldn't be surprised though if it was Steve Garcia out of all of them, because he, like Alex said, Charlie Kirk and Steve Garcia were friends, and I think he was supposed to go to one of Steve Garcia's fights before he tragically passed away. I don't know. I don't know what to say. I think there will be a maybe a potential Charlie Kirk mention in the broadcast, either if it's Steve Garcia if he wins, or Bo Nickel. Who knows? Maybe they might even have a Charlie Kirk Titantron in memory of Charlie Kirk or something like that. I don't know. We'll have to see. But yeah, rest in peace, Charlie Kirk.
Yeah, I could see, just like Mike said, I could see like a shout out to Charlie Kirk, like whether it's like a visual on the broadcast, and you got a favorite in Bo Nickel and an underdog in Steve Garcia, so I think it's like a solid chance that either one will be like this was like what he would have wanted to win or something like that. Shout out to him. So I could definitely see that being a play. I think that's a very crafty pick from Alex. It's a very sharp one.
Another crafty one. I think Pereira is going to be speaking English on the mic after his win. It's kind of a spoiler, but I think we will hear Pereira speaking English this week, especially whenever he comes into contact with like Trump or on the mic when he's speaking to the elites. I think, people forget, man. He's connected to Freemasons. This is true. Polino Cruz, Freemason. I'll let everybody else do the rest. I won't speak about the Freemasons no more because they're watching. But Pereira, I think he's going to speak English in the cage. I just got a feeling. I think if there was ever a time for him to speak English, it'd be now. And I've heard has some pretty decent English. He's just not, fluent in it. But I think he's gonna do it. Like he's gonna have a couple sentences prepared for this card. But yeah.
I do agree. I mean, I don't know if I agree because I don't know. We haven't really seen Pereira speak English per se. I don't know what he'll say. Maybe we might get like a clip where he's like USA or something like that. Maybe I could see that, but I don't know. I don't really see it happening. This one isn't a bad one though, because bingos are like supposed to like have like, oh yeah, that's an obvious one, but then there's ones that are like mysterious in a way. So yeah, this one could be a little crafty one here. We could get a USA thing from Go USA or something like that. Like I could see him doing something like that. I don't know in particular, but we'll have to see what happens.
Yeah, there's another sharp one from Alex. If Alex Pereira is victorious and beats Cyril Gane and becomes technically a 3 division weight champion with 2 undisputed titles and an interim, I could see this being the fight that he like tries to break a language barrier, tries to use his platform on the biggest stage of his career to like show development in his English and show an ability to be universal in his message. And as well as that, Josh Hockett has accused Alex Pereira of being able to speak English, and he just doesn't do it. I think Josh Hockett's onto something. I think if you live in Danbury, Connecticut, for as long as you've been living, there has to have been some form of translation, a little bit, to get by, just to be able to catch a ride, just to be able to order food. He does have Glover Teixeira, who does speak Brazilian, and like is able to translate for him, but nonetheless, like, you fight in an organization that's mainly in America, you're in the biggest capital of the world in America, this would be the time for you to try to speak English. So I definitely could see that. And yeah, Josh Hockett's been saying like Alex can speak English, so let's see if he does it.
Next one. Ilya responds to Gaethje talking about his ex-wife. This is a more recent one. This is a bit more crafty because this has just happened like yesterday or this morning. But Gaethje's been talking a lot of smack, saying like he pretty much said he'd leave Ilya too if he was his wife, which is kind of gay. Like, why are you thinking like, oh, if I was married to Ilya, why would you be married to Ilya? You know what I mean? Unless you got a thing for 5'8" Georgians, which zesty if you ask me. Go ask Marab. I don't know, but there's been a lot of heat coming from Gaethje's camp, low key. He's been making the rounds, talking shit. His dad was calling, and like the whole Gaethje camp, his dad was calling Ilya just another short guy. Gaethje has been mouthing off a ton. Ilya's been kind of like mogging him, but he hasn't really been doing too much. He's just like, why you bring this American to White House if you want him to win against me? We want the hardest fights. Isn't that right, Justin? That's very right. Yes, he's a great fighter. Just completely oblivious. Oh my goodness. But yeah, I think Ilya's going to be actually going after Gaethje a little bit more this week. It's going to be more like the Holloway buildup, but I think it's going to be a lot of Ilya-led stuff about going after him, about talking about this. He's already sent a post out about his dad talking shit. I think Ilya is going to have all the motivation he needs to fucking spark Gaethje out, and I think he's going to have some words for him on the press conference this time too. It isn't going to be all respectful like it was the first time.
Yeah, I thought in this press conference, I'm hoping we get an actual good instigator, like a good little instigator, because I do think this will happen if we get a right media member. Like, I hope either if it's Oscar Willis, somebody that's actually decent at press conference asking questions. Like, I hope they bring up that fact, because I do think it will be brought up. If not, the media is just a bunch of fucking AI people. Like, I want instigation, man. I want instigation. This one will feel like a good one, because if y'all don't know, if y'all are living under a rock, Ilya's went through like a big divorce, damn near led up to potentially losing custody of his children. But for Gaethje to even say something like that, that's really dumb dickhead mentality thing to say. Like, why are you over here butting in another man's business like that? Like, there's tons of people that don't like Ilya. I get that. But even Max Holloway, who's even said that he wasn't a big fan of Ilya, he was Ilya, he don't like Ilya. He even showed support for what happened with Ilya. So for you to even for him not to like Ilya, and he's not gonna get personal like that. I don't know why Gaethje would too. Coming from the guy, by the way, that was mad when Colby brought up Usman's dad being in a farm, being a corrupt dad. You know what I'm talking about? It's very hypocritical from Gaethje's end. You talk about, fighters shouldn't bring up families and stuff like that, but then they do something like that. I do think that Ilya should respond about it, just because it would bring views up, and I think this will definitely bring light in the fuel for Ilya. At first, he was coming into the fight like how he did with Charles, where he's like, "I'm sorry it had to be you, Justin. Like he was like hitting him with the same mog as he was hitting Charles with. Like I didn't want it to be you, but it's gonna be quick. You know, we're gonna old yeller you in the White House lawn. But it turns out he's not gonna be. It looks like he might not be so friendly next press conference. Hopefully the press conference is very good.
Yeah, this information came out fairly recently, within like the last 48 hours. But this one I'm actually going to take credit for. I think Alex was calling it the rebuttal to Justin. She took the kids, the meme of what Ilya's going to tell Justin at the face off. Like she took the kids, and now you were talking shit about that situation. So now, like, you've really turned that meme into a reality, and I'm actually going to do that to you. So it's actually funny how like it all plays out, because like that was just that was just a manifestation of the situation of him dealing with like his personal stuff. And now Gaethje has done something to actually turn that into reality. Like he's actually going to say that to him now. Just really odd from Justin Gaethje to speak on another man's relationship. He like even went as far to say like I wouldn't date him either, or something along those lines. I don't know the context, like the exact words exactly, but that was under that context. Like he's so braggadocious and obnoxious and this and that. Like that's what a fighter's supposed to be, but just I find it very odd and weird that he's talking about another man's relationship when he should be concerned with his camp and trying to get the belt. But to each their own. We'll see how far that gets you. But yeah, I think Ilya will definitely confront him more, and he'll be like, "Why are you talking about like my business? Like you've never even had a wife or anything like that, or something along those lines." But yeah, I just expect more animosity, more willingness to knock him out in brutal fashion, and to like what my Alex said, like he said, like Gaethje's dad was saying, he's just another short guy. The whole Gaethje camp's been chirping. Ilya, like I think he posted a video of like a white rose with Gaethje or something. But yeah, just good build up for the fight. I guess that's the one thing that's good from this, but just very weird from Justin Gaethje to comment on another man's relationship. I found that very odd.
Moving on to our next one of the card. Weather affects fight and creates excuses. And you can kind of just put like weather and just like outside factors, whether it be like bugs or whatever. Like a bug flew in my eye, or I slipped on dew or rain or something. This is going to be our first outdoor UFC event, and I don't even know how long. It might even be the first, but yeah, I think this one is could be a lock. Fighters are always looking for excuses when they lose. You can see Gaethje pulling this one, honestly. But yeah, I think the weather and the outside factors, that this is a new thing. So I think it could affect somebody, or they could say it affected them type of shit. But yeah, I think this is, I don't know about a lock, but I think this is likely.
I don't know if any weather will affect. I don't know. Anything could happen, but I'm hoping there is no weather effects. But if there is, I could see an excuse being there. Dana even said, like, if it is raining, the only thing that he will be concerned of is if thunder happens. But he said if it's raining, thumbs up. They got the thumbs up to still fight. But I could see that being a thing where, I didn't have any balance for this fight. That's why I got knocked out brutally in the first round. Or, this happened, that happened. Or I tried to defend Bo's takedown, but then I slipped randomly trying to defend it. Like, I could see something like that happening.
Yeah, under the pretense that there's no roof, or there's like exposed to outdoor environment, that could play a factor. But like again, under the pretense that there's like no retractable roof, or like there's no walls within the confines of like where the ring is set up. But if there is exposure to the outdoor elements, like it's just a different feeling, like compared to like fighting in a conditioned arena. You could have the humidity of the environment, or whatever the case may be. You can feel the breeze. It's just a different look and a different feel. So, but yeah, under the pretense again that like the ring, it doesn't have a roof or walls surrounding it, it could be a factor.
Moving on to our last one. We're talking about certain people in the audience. We mentioned Conor McGregor, some politicians, some leaders of foreign countries. This kind of goes with Bo and Steve Garcia. I could see like if one of them wins, and shout out to a great man that passed away, Charlie Kirk, and Erica Kirk's gonna. That's Erica Kirk. Everywhere she goes, she hitting you with that cry by. Somebody. She's gonna be staring down the camera, staring through our soul with the. Her brick ass face, but I think she could be there. This is more of a throw one. I don't know if it'll land, but I got a feeling, everybody like on that kind of like Trump side is going to be there. And I think she'll be there. And I think the camera will pan to her. Yeah, it's just going to be a whole thing. Like it's an environment thing. It's like, oh man, they're all there. They're all there. Every single one of them. This is the most fucking APAC sponsored event ever. But yeah, I think a lot of politicians will be there. Little Kirk included. I think, like Tony said earlier, like Pete Hegseth, fucking Kash Patel, all of them are going to be there. It's going to be one fucking big meme fest, 100%.
I got no comment under that one.
Weak.
Yeah, I don't mind it. Another half court shot. I don't mind it at all. I think Erica Kirk has been definitely pro Trump. That's obvious. And specifically, if Steve Garcia wins, I could definitely see that being in play. Like him doing a shout out specifically to. I want to shout out Erica in the crowd. A real friend of mine passed away. I could see it. I guess I'll see it. Yeah, I don't mind that take at all. A lot of powerful people. A lot of isn't she now like the president of? I can't for the life of me remember the name.
That bitch like fucking controls the Air Force.
Yeah.
She's like the president of the thing though, like his foundation.
Turning Point.
Oh yeah,
Turning Point USA.
Yeah, she's like so I could definitely see her being there. And like I said, specifically for like a Bo Nickel, but really like a Steve Garcia. I think Steve was like very adamant about his friendship with Charlie. So yeah, I think that's not a bad prediction at all from Alex. Not at all.
Yeah, I'm not. I wouldn't be surprised if she did show up. It is like a political thing, though.
Like if you can like bet these things on Kalshi and you get that at plus money odds, I'll take a shot. Why not?
Yeah, for sure. But yeah, that'll do it for our UFC White House bingo. Well, these are our original ideas. Bedtime, you cannot steal this shit from us, even though we're stealing the idea from you. But that's besides the point. But yeah, I think that'll do it. Any other comments? Or we've got to clean it up.
I just tune into our prediction video. We'll definitely set that one up. I can't wait for this card. I think this card is going to be fire. Not the biggest Trump guy in the world, but for this fight to take place in the White House lawn, I was pretty shocked about that. I do like a lot of crazy shit. I've been wanting a UFC in the Coliseum. Please, Dana White, make it happen. I want like a bunch of crazy shit like this, man. We're starting slow. I get that. At first we had the Sphere. Now we're doing it at the White House. I would love a Coliseum fight night card or paper. Well, it's got to be a pay-per-view, numbered event. You know what I mean? I want some crazy shit like that. I want more like that. I'm pumped for this one. So yeah, I'm hyped for this White House card.
Let's have more crazy fucking themed events like this, like the Sphere. Maybe with less political shit. But yeah, like the Coliseum would be dope. And just like shit like that. It goes hard. Like more historical places. Like put a backdrop to the fights. The Pyramids was a good example of boxing did recently.
Yeah, the Pyramids did it with Rico Verhoeven and Usyk. And there's tons of crazy shit that they can do. Fucking Elon Musk is a fan of the UFC. Alex made this funny ass idea. Do it at the fucking space or something.
Yeah, fuck it.
Yeah. Do some. Let's go fucking nuts, man. Like I would love some crazy shit like that. I like, Dana says, "Oh, I sell holy shit moments." That is a holy shit moment if I say so myself. Like I think I want a Coliseum card though. I mean I know I sound like a broken record on that. I want a Coliseum card. Two gladiators back in the days did fight to the death. Imagine you put an octagon there, do Ilya versus Armin, or do like Alex Pereira fight on there. Do like some crazy cool shit on there. Like that would be a phenomenal. Like imagine a main event if it's Tom Aspinall versus Alex Pereira. The promo, please don't. And by the way, if you do it in the Coliseum, no fucking AI slop, please. Don't do like a random AI generation of Alex Pereira in gladiator uniform and fucking Tom Aspinall doing the fucking doing another gladiator uniform and Dana White as Julius Caesar. Please don't do something like that. That'd be very corny. I would just want a Coliseum card. That's all I want.
Tony?
Yeah, Coliseum something, but even if they did that, this shit's way better. I really do feel that you will never see this ever again. Within our lifetimes, I just don't see that this is like the first sporting event ever to be within the confines of the United States White House. This is where the president resides. This is where, on paper, the perception is the most powerful man in the free world resides, and you're having a fight here. So I think that trumps, no pun intended, quite literally a lot of venues ever, because I just don't see this being duplicated for a long time ever. So I will cherish this moment for whatever it's worth, the circus it may be, the Hunger Games it may be. Enjoy it while it lasts, because we ain't ever going to see this for a long time, in my opinion. I would say we gave you guys like a bulletin board of predictions. This is kind of like a Super Bowl to me in the aspect of like, obviously there'll be action on the fights and stuff, but like on like a Kalshi, will this person make an appearance, like all that. I think we gave you guys like a bunch of like fun like bets or props in that regard of like predictions in terms of the bingo card. Like I said, I'm gonna appreciate this moment for what it is. A bunch of great fights, a bunch of finishers, a bunch of good fighters. We'll never see this again. And 2 titles on the line. I think it's a great card. We appreciate you guys for watching the video. Make sure to go like and subscribe. We'll be sure to get out the prediction videos for this week and more going forward. And yeah, anything else you guys got to say, or is that it?
Nope. All good.
Sounds good.
All good.
And peace. All right.